You're watching ABC7 News at 7.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn. Happy Thanksgiving. Welcome to a special edition of ABC7 at 7. As we give thanks to all we have here on the Suncoast, to our families and friends, to our community, we thought it would be a good idea to take a moment and share once again some of the most interesting moments we have had recently at the Trapezoid. We live in interesting times full of possibilities and fraught with challenges, some of our own making. And we begin at the White House. You think Jim Acosta was the first reporter to rattle a president's chains? Bet a lot of you are old enough to remember at a news conference during Watergate when President Nixon asked Dan Rather, "Are you running for something?" And Rather responded, "No, sir, Mr. President, are you?" Sam Donaldson was a thorn to presidents, both Democrat and Republican alike. He tells a story of touring an open manure pit in India with President Carter. "Sir, if I fell in there, would you pull me out?" Donaldson asked the president. "Certainly, Sam." After a suitable interval, Carter responded. Ask both Obama, both Bushes, both Clintons for that matter, whether they believe the press corps has always been fair to them, and you'd get a big bipartisan no. But none of them revoked a reporter's credentials. And joining us for more are Sam Roberts, the former national editor of CBS News, State Representative Julio Gonzalez, and joining us by Skype from Washington is Jim Williams, Washington Bureau Chief for Fox News, for News Talk Florida, But first, with tonight's poll question, let's go to ABC7 digital producer Chloe Conboy. Chloe.
Alan, today I asked the following question to our viewers on Facebook. Should the White House or president be able to dictate which journalists are allowed to attend White House press events? The poll has over 1,500 votes and about 90 comments. Be sure to cast your vote before the end of the show and share some of your comments with us. Coming up later, I will share some of the Facebook comments with you and reveal the final poll results. Alan, back to you.
Chloe, thank you very much. And we should tell viewers, Sam, welcome to the show. Sam was my boss at CBS News a long time ago when I was a desk assistant on the national assignment desk. Sam, you were the national editor when I was there, which means you were not only my boss, you were the boss of CBS's White House correspondents. And I'm really interested in what your take is about this controversy, not big picture, but also what Jim Acosta actually did.
Well, you mentioned the Dan Rather incident. That was, about 73 or so. At that time, I was a producer on the evening news and, working stiff. But many of us, myself included, thought Dan had gone over the line with that. And what happened, it was at a convention of the National Association of Broadcasters. And Nixon had a news conference with all these broadcasting executives there. And Dan introduced himself, as was the custom in those days. Introduce yourself before you ask a question of the president. And he said, Dan Rather, CBS News, Mr. President. And he got a great deal of applause. And that prompted Nixon's, "Oh, are you running for something?" And Dan said, as you said, "No, sir, are you?" I thought he went over the line. But Nixon never, the Nixon people who hated Rather, and there's some evidence that even the plumbers went after Nixon, Rather during Watergate, they never considered to any appreciable degree the idea of banning Dan Rather from White House coverage.
And Julio, I want to ask you about that because, that's true. Back in those days, the tension between the White House and the press corps was even more incredible than it is today. But what's your take on Jim Acosta, what he did, and the bigger picture of whether he should have been suspended?
Well, I'll tell you what Dan Rather didn't do. Dan Rather did not refuse to hand over the mic when he was asked to hand over the mic. And so I think that one of the questions that you asked at your introduction was whether the president can remove somebody because he doesn't like that reporter. The answer to that question is absolutely no, or at least he shouldn't. But what I saw in this event was a reporter that got belligerent, was not responding to the president's repeated firm requests to hand over the mic, and resisted a staffer in so doing.
Let's take one more look at that actual incident. I think we have it.
That's not invasion.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country, you run CNN, and if you did it well, your ratings would be much better.
If I may ask one other question, Mr. President, if I may ask one other question, are you worried?
That's enough, that's enough.
Mr. President,
That's enough.
ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr.
Excuse
President,
me, that's enough.
Mr. President, I have one other
Peter,
question,
let's
if
go.
I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have...
I'm not concerned
indictments-
about anything with
you
the
may have
Russian
indictments coming down.
investigation because it's a hoax.
Are you-
That's enough, put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down?
That was the incident from last week. I want to bring Jim Williams in. Jim, you have also been a White House correspondent, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, during the Clinton administration. What was your take?
I think at the end of the day, like Sam had said and Julio had said, I don't think he should, he meaning the president, should be able to pick and choose who he wants in the press corps. Part and parcel, if you've followed this situation between Jim Acosta and President Trump, is, there's been an ongoing thing where from the rallies to each press conference, Acosta has been, in many regards, Trump's foil. And they've had these back and forths on many occasions. So there is, I think the president in some ways draws from his, his, I'm not going to say dislike, but certainly his slight disdain, if you will, for how Jim Acosta does it. But at the end of the day, I don't think what Jim did was worthy of getting his credential pulled.
Now let's head over to ABC7's chief meteorologist Bob Harrigan with the first forecast. Bob.
Hello and happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. Beautiful sunset tonight, although we didn't see much of the sun throughout the day. Just enough clouds clearing to create some gorgeous colors, and again, some photos sent in, and it looks as though we'll see these clouds thin out throughout the overnight hours. You can see all the mess out there in the Gulf of Mexico. A low pressure area is going to develop and then eventually bring us a chance for some showers, but not until Saturday, I think. Even that chance isn't all that great. We have to monitor it right now. We'll see a 40% chance for showers, I think, late Saturday night, and a slight chance throughout the day on Saturday. Again, the clouds starting to clear to the west of us as some drier air is moving in the upper levels of the atmosphere. Right now, we have temperatures into the mid-60s. It's calm out there, not much of a wind, and the pressure 30-12. That's pretty much holding steady right now. Temperatures currently across the state already down to the 50s. In Tallahassee, it's 57 degrees, still warm in Key West, and in Miami now, temperatures into the upper 70s there. Well, here's a look now at current temps into the mid-60s, and the Gulf water temperature cooling down 73 now. 66 in Arcadia, Wauchula, 68 in Sebring. Evening planner calls for partly cloudy skies, high temperatures into the low 60s. Alan will be right back after this.
Happy Honda Days are here, and you're gonna like the holiday clearance savings. Save on the Accord, on sale for just $249 a month. That's the North American car of the year for less than the competition. Our most impressive Honda ever, on clearance for only $249 a month, loaded with more options, including a turbocharged engine and Honda Sensing. Do not miss these Honda clearance savings this week at your local Honda dealer.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
The world is a beautiful place again.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Download the all-new ABC7 First Alert Weather app now.
Welcome back. We are talking about CNN's lawsuit against the president and White House after the press credentials of Chief White House correspondent Jim Acosta was suspended indefinitely. And joining us for more are Sam Roberts, the former national editor of CBS News, State Representative Julio Gonzalez, and joining us by Skype from Washington is Jim Williams, Washington Bureau Chief for News Talk Florida. So we were talking during the break, and Julio, one of the questions I wanted to ask to you is the White House explanation for this has shifted. Right. In the days after, they said it was because Acosta touched the intern trying to take the mic away. Now in court today, they argued that he was disruptive, and the president has the prerogative of deciding who is there and who is not.
Correct, and I think today's briefing, the language has changed into something that's more legalese and more consistent with prior court's opinion in order to play off the court's languages. But, you know, I remember Dan Rather when we've been talking a lot about the Dan Rather.
You're that old too?
Yeah, I'm old enough to have read his book as it came out. And I remember Dan Rather talked about the control the president has of the White House press conferences. He had complete control. He had a chart. He had a map. He knew exactly who was going to ask kind of what. You don't know exactly what he's going to ask, but you knew the topics. And he would direct the forum. And for the president to make the argument that the president can now be subverted in not being able to direct the flow on the conduct of a White House press conference, I think flies in the face of tradition.
You know, Sam, we were talking during the break. I was watching Helen Thomas today, her greatest hits. If people remember her, the great UPI reporter, she gave a hard time to every president from Obama to Kennedy. Some of them are really tough questions. I remember Obama didn't even want to take her questions for a good long time. But your position is that comes with the territory.
Well, it should come with the territory. The White House has absolutely the right to limit a reporter's access in terms of security or just available space in the room. And that's why we have pools in the White House, right? Where everybody shares the pictures coming out of one camera that's allowed in. That's fine. That's part of the territory. But to single out a reporter because you don't like them, that doesn't happen. And I got to tell you that the only time that we ever worried about that sort of thing happening with a reporter was in dealings with foreign governments that were totalitarian governments.
But I got to say, Bob Woodward, the great Watergate reporter, just made comments that basically said that the situation should result in more reporters actually doing more reporting and not, what Acosta is doing, which is making himself the center of the story. I mean, has there been an element of that?
Well, I personally have no use for what I see on the 24-hour channels, and I'm talking about all three of them. They don't cover the news, they talk about the news. And that's part of the reason why a guy becomes the story. It's in the nature of the beast. I hate watching television news now because of that. Right. Live coverage. We're getting off the topic here of
no,
Acosta.
and I want to get to that.
Okay.
I also want to bring Jim Williams in here, and Jim, again, as somebody who used to cover the White House, Bob Woodward's criticism is that Jim Acosta has made himself the story instead of just covering the story.
I would never contradict Bob Woodward. One of the reasons I got in this business. But I think Bob, you know, in the situation of what happened with Acosta, right, there is a process, and Sam, I'm sure, knows this, that if they felt that Acosta was out of line, there is a grievance process by which Sarah Sanders could have filed a report with the White House Press Corps Association, and they could have handled it in that manner. And that's happened numerous times. So they had a recourse to go rather than pulling his credential. Obviously, I read what Bob said, and he's entitled to his opinion. I don't particularly agree with him at this point.
Okay. Our conversation on the freedom of the press continues right after we get a check on the First Alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Well, a pretty nice sunset tonight on this Thanksgiving. I hope you had a great one out there. This one, Cheryl Gunter sending this one in. Look at the sky just rip up that red right now, and that was earlier today, obviously. And this one from South Venice, also just enough clearing of the skies to allow for a pretty spectacular sunset, although we didn't see much of the sun today. We'll see a lot more tomorrow, and the 7-day is showing that. Was sunshine on Friday, 79 your high, so we'll get a little warmer too tomorrow. That's fairly typical for this time of year. And then Saturday, look out. There could be some showers around. I think a slight chance throughout the day. Better chances come late Saturday afternoon and through the evening as that system works its way through. By Sunday, it should clear out of here, though. Temperatures staying warm. The cold front doesn't actually arrive until late Monday, early Tuesday. It kind of hangs around, and it gives us high temperatures only in the low 70s. Our typical high in the upper 70s this time of year. So a little bit of a cool down by Tuesday of next week. Well, the tower cam, as I said, showing a spectacular sunset earlier this evening. And you can see all the clouds this afternoon, all in association with a low pressure area trying to develop out there in the Gulf of Mexico. And we'll have some clearing on Friday, and we'll see a little bit more temperatures warmer tomorrow, upper 70s. 11 o'clock tonight, 63 degrees. And as far as the lows go for tomorrow morning, we'll start off upper 50s to low 60s. So a little bit warmer, but still on the cool side. This is fairly typical. 64 in Anna Maria, 59 in Lakewood Ranch. Temperatures into the mid-50s in inland locations. Now, the radar picture was active earlier today to the north of us, and a few showers down near Fort Myers, but we were right in between. We didn't get any rain here. I'm not anticipating any rainfall overnight. You can see these showers weakening as they approach the coast. That's due to the low pressure area kind of moving well to the east of us now. And also, things are starting to dry out a little bit in the upper levels of the atmosphere. Basically light rain falling, though, across North Florida right now, just south of Ocala and just offshore of Daytona Beach. Storms trying to get rotation there, but not doing very well. We'll see tomorrow a little bit more sunshine, and that will allow our temperatures to warm up into the upper 70s after lows right around 60 degrees. The futurecast showing a little bit more sunshine tomorrow for us, and that looks good. But look at all these clouds out here in the Gulf of Mexico. This is all racing our way on Saturday. Could see a few morning showers, I mentioned, and then better chances for showers, a little bit moderate to heavy, comes later on in the day on Saturday. That dry air that you see here over Louisiana is going to be in place tomorrow, so I don't think we'll see as many high clouds around as we saw today. Well, the forecast for boaters, northeast winds at 10 knots, more sunshine for you as well on the beaches. A light chop out there, seas running right at 2 feet. And I showed you this earlier. Temperatures are going to be right around 60 to start the day off tomorrow, and cools down in the 50s, though, early next week. Alan will be right back after this. Stick around.
It's year-end clearance time at every Gettle location. Over 3,000 new vehicles, over 1,000 used vehicles on clearance right now at Gettle.com. And Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Get credit help, fast cash for your car, and year-end clearance prices right now at a Gettle dealership near you. Gettle's got it. At Gettle.com.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Pets bring so much joy to our lives. They're loyal, they're protective, and smart. Yet as smart as our pets might be, they can't advocate for themselves, especially in the event of a natural disaster. During Hurricane Harvey, many families were separated from their pets. That's why it's important your pet is part of your family's disaster preparedness plan. Talk to your veterinarian and visit banfieldfoundation.org/disaster. Don't save it for a rainy day.
In life after the military, it's our duty as veterans to have each other's back. I'm retired Colonel Greg Gatson, and it's my mission to help you get the benefits and services you've earned. If you need to file a VA claim, remember these important steps. Submit an online claim through ebenefits.va.gov. Work with an accredited Veterans Service Organization, or VSO. And if you need to attend a VA claim exam, please go. Visit this website to learn what to expect.
All hands on deck. What's up? I want to point out 3 tips for using the home computer more safely. Point away.
First, stop. Make sure your software is up to date and that you've password protected your computer's login and Wi-Fi connection.
Next, think before visiting a site, opening attachments, or clicking on links.
Then connect, knowing you're helping make the web safer for you
and for everyone. Make Stop, Think, Connect part of your daily online routine.
It's the season to give thanks, but for far too many families in places like Parkland, Thousand Oaks, and Pittsburgh, 2018 was a year of broken hearts and unbearable grief. We have so much to give thanks for in America. Finally getting a handle on mass shootings isn't one of them. We are talking about the rise of anti-Semitism after this week's Pittsburgh massacre, and joining us for more are Howard Teblowitz, the CEO of the Jewish Federation of Sarasota Manatee, Sarasota Mayor Liz Alpert, and Frank Alcock, a political science professor at New College. And Liz, you started to tell us that Sarasota police are going to be out not only at synagogues around the community, but also other denominations. What's the thought process there?
Well, I think it's, number one, I think there are going to be more people going to services, and I think there's a concern about a copycat wanting to do the same thing that they see usually when things show up in the news and these kinds of events happen, somebody else gets the same idea. But, and I know Howard was going to mention this, the Jewish Federation is calling on more people to attend Shabbat services this weekend. And in fact, the U.S. Conference of Mayors also sent out a memo saying to mayors, you know, be sure to try to go to services this weekend to show solidarity.
Howard, I want to go back to the vigil earlier this week, because as we talked about, you wanted this to be the clergy's moment and you wanted to keep the politics out of it, but the clergy being the clergy will say whatever they want. And describe for us the points they tried to make that kind of put some of the politicians there on notice.
Well, I think this was more geared towards how people feel, how they felt. I mean, this is deeply personal. This is not something far away. This was there, and I think my rabbi, Rabbi Michael Warbaugh from Temple Beth Shalom in Sarasota, really talked to the heart of it. He lived there. So he's from there. He went to a funeral there yesterday. And this is deeply personal for us. So the rabbis, the Christian clergy, and the imam spoke from the heart. So this was not a time to talk about politics. There was a little bit of conversation talking to the elected officials that were there, but it was more about the need to bring this country together and not to divide it.
But we are divided and not quite all together right now. The vice president addressed the president's reaction and his visit to Pittsburgh yesterday. Let's take a look.
It's incredible to think that 11 lives were lost, 6 others injured, including law enforcement officials. As President Trump and I have made clear, what happened was not just criminal, it was evil, and we will never allow violence or anti-Semitism to take hold in the United States of America.
Obviously, those are strong words from the vice president, but the reaction to the president, Frank, in Pittsburgh yesterday was a little bit different.
It was. I think those words on the part of the vice president were better, I think, than the president, but it's more what he says before and after certain moments. I think in Pittsburgh, certainly, the pain is there. I think people understand how rhetoric that might on the margins seem questionable but not necessarily hateful certainly slips into hateful rhetoric, and it enables what we saw in Pittsburgh. So I don't think the entire community of Pittsburgh was ready for the president, but I think it's time to move away from finger pointing and blame at this point. At this point we know who the president is, we know what the president is. The president's behavior is not going to change, and so I think it's incumbent upon us to change our behavior, not really wait for a change in behavior.
We are just getting warmed up on this conversation. It will continue on the increase in anti-Semitism after a quick break. Stay with us.
Since 1847, the Grand Hotel has earned a worldwide reputation for elegance and hospitality. Now the Grand has been transformed with reimagined rooms and suites and exceptional fine dining and meeting spaces. The spa is more luxurious, and championship golf will test your game, all overlooking beautiful Mobile Bay. The Grand Hotel Golf Resort and Spa. Timeless elegance transformed. For reservations, visit grand1847.com.
Pick me. Oh, come on, man. Oh man, I love technology. Check out my new phone. Look at this right here. For years, the DeSoto Club has needed improvements. Join me and Boys and Girls Club of Manatee County as we raise money to build a brand new facility. It will be bigger and better, just like it was 40 years ago when I attended. Invest in kids, build great futures.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hi, I'm Ray Collins. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll have a preview of holiday shopping season. We'll tell you where you can get the best deals for Black Friday tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast. Josh?
And we'll have another beautiful forecast for Black Friday, but what does the weekend have in store for us? We'll have all the details tomorrow at 5.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Once you get atrial fibrillation, you need to have a very close relationship with your primary doctor. Prevention is the whole ball game here, because once you have a stroke, you can't undo it. A year without stroke is a year that you can enjoy doing the things that you've worked all your life to finally get to do. You took care of yourself. You did what is necessary for you to be around one more year. And then next year, we'll celebrate one more year without a stroke.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
ABC7 News at 7, weeknights.
Welcome back, everyone. We are talking about the rise of anti-Semitism after this week's Pittsburgh massacre, and joining us for more are Howard Tevlowitz, the CEO of the Jewish Federation of Sarasota and Manatee, Sarasota Mayor Liz Alpert, and Frank Alcock, a political science professor at New College. And Frank, you were saying that you're done in terms of expecting the right words out of this president right now. The question that some people are raising is whether he has dog whistles that are giving those who are anti-Semitic cause for being A, more vocal, and B, more active. The investigation into the Pittsburgh shooting will go on, but there's been talk about that suspect's dislike for a Jewish organization that helped immigrants.
Yeah, no, the dog whistles are there, and they're clear, and I'm not sure why the rest of society does not see them as clearly as I do. Where I'm having a hard time as I'm watching expecting the president to behave any differently than he's behaving, that will not happen. That will never happen. Getting the folks that are enabling and supporting him to change their behavior, I don't know how to crack that nut. It's a different question. But when it comes to the president, he is not going to lead us out of this situation. But it's just not going to happen.
It's not just the president. There are a lot of people who are, overt and less overt. There's been a lot of attention to the Republican Congressman Steve King,
yes,
who made a trip to Europe and basically was pretty out there with groups that have Nazi leanings. And today, the head of the Republican Congressional Action Committee basically cut him loose.
Right.
And this is a little bit of what Steve King had to say.
I'm not deleting that because then you all pile on me and say King had to apologize, he was wrong, he knows he's guilty. I'm not. I don't feel guilty one bit. I'm human.
Okay, he's human. This is something his own party is coming down on him.
That's right. When his own party cuts him loose and comes down on him, that's what I want to see more of. That's calling him out as we've called him out, but it's taken a couple of weeks for them to respond. So I'm very happy with the development that we've had today. It's just different than my point. When Trump sucks up the oxygen and the news cycle, and then you're not seeing the reaction that you want to get, and he actually is able to use some of these things to his advantage. I don't want to get caught in that trap anymore. I'm done with that.
And Howard, your point is that there are problems, yes, on the right, maybe from the president himself, but you take issue with the left and anti-Semitism, whether it's on college campuses or elsewhere.
Yeah, this has been a problem. I've been here in Sarasota for almost 19 years. I've watched this problem for 19 years around the country. We're very attuned to this. Just a few months ago, Aretha Franklin had a funeral. Look at the podium. Look to the left of the podium. Louis Farrakhan was sitting there with a former president of the United States. A few weeks ago, Bill Clinton. Louis Farrakhan called Jews termites a few weeks ago and used words worse than that. So this issue has been going on college campuses for years. There's a new term called intersectionality. The new love of this is a woman called Linda Sarsour, who is referring to Jews in all kinds of negative ways. And this nexus between Israel and Jewish is completely blurred.
All right, I want to just point out to our viewers that the president right now is coming out onto the stage in Fort Myers. He's in Florida to campaign for Ron DeSantis, the Republican. I think we have some video of the president coming to the podium now. If he says anything on this issue, on the tragedy this week in Pittsburgh, or anything else along those lines, we'll bring that to you by the end of the broadcast. Liz, you meet and talk to so many people in this community from all different faiths and denominations, but you have also seen over time, we have had a number of anti-Semitic incidents at local synagogues and so forth. Have you seen this happen, at least in our community, on a more frequent basis?
I haven't seen it personally or with people that I've talked to, and again, Howard probably has a better read on that, but we really haven't. We have, in our community in 2003, we adopted an anti-discrimination ordinance, and we were, you know, very progressive in doing that, which calls for, you know, freedom from discrimination for based on age, color, disability, gender, marital status, national origin, race, religion, sexual orientation, and veteran status. So we're one of the few communities that have this human rights ordinance, and so I think overall our community is pretty together.
You know what my thought was when hearing about the shooting in the aftermath in Pittsburgh, Frank, is that the police rushed in. They rushed in en masse, and so did the first responders. And they weren't rushing in because it was Jews who were being fired upon. They rushed in because it was not only their job, it was not only their shift, but that's what Americans do.
Yes.
And the question is, that uniquely American act, when we have a situation, whether it's anti-Semitism or bigotry or racism in general, how come there is not a larger public, more unified confrontation of it?
That's a great question. I wish we can spend more time and more moments seeing each other as human beings and appreciating everything that we have in common with us, with one another. But that just seems to be slipping away more and more. And as I said at the outset, I think that it's intentional. I think there are a number of forces, both internal and external, that are deliberately trying to get us to tear
We're
one
going to take
apart.
a quick pause there because the president right now in Fort Myers is talking about the shooting. Let's listen in.
Evil anti-Semitic attack. Yesterday I traveled to Pittsburgh to meet with the families and first responders. And I especially want to thank Rabbi Jeffrey Myers. He was terrific. He was terrific. Fine man. We grieve for the families of the fallen, and we send our eternal gratitude to the law enforcement officers who sustained severe injuries taking down the gunmen. They were incredible. They were incredible. They were incredible. Could have been as bad as it was, and it was bad. It could have been far worse. They were unbelievable, and they got there fast. We pledge our resolve to remove the vile poison of anti-Semitism and so many other problems from our world, and we reaffirm...
The president speaking about the very issue that we are talking about tonight. But Howard, how do you put that next to some of the other comments that the president has made recently about globalists, about nationalism, which has connotations that are very, very bad during history? There are commercials out there that single out the head of the Fed and other people who are in power who just happen to be Jewish. And there's suspicions that there is some dog whistles there.
Look, it's hard for me because we don't deal in politics. Obviously, this is concerning. It wasn't just the president, it's other people in Congress who were talking about 3 people with a Jewish background. You know, you get into issues, the elders of the protocols of Zion. I mean, there's all kinds of issues we're dealing with here. And with Frank, you know, we have to move the dialogue, and I think moving the dialogue starts at home. This is an amazing community. I've never worked in a place like this where we work with faith leaders. We work at a different level. And you asked in the beginning why we were able to turn people out, because we have these relationships. We talk to each other. We know each other. It's kind of hard to hate someone you don't know, or you know, and this is part of the challenge.
I think that's the key to get over this and get through this. Is it is going to be on the people to come together, create community, get to know their neighbors, and get to know people that don't look or act or worship like them.
We need more of that in our community, but too often they were kind of going to our own sides, our own teams, and so forth. We have to take a quick break. We'll be back for final thoughts in a moment, so stay with us.
selection. Over 3,000 new vehicles, over 1,000 used vehicles on clearance right now at Gettle.com. And Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Get credit help, fast cash for your car, and year-end clearance prices right now at a Gettle dealership near you. Gettle's got it. At Gettle.com.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
Mascara adds depth to the eyes. Lipstick gives the mouth color and definition. And ALS paralyzes the body.
You look great, Mom. Thank you.
Slowly taking away the ability to move and eventually breathe.
President Trump has proven once again his ability to get out his base. Because of his endorsement, a little-known congressman is now Florida governor, to the chagrin of many party activists who wanted someone else. But the president's visit to Tampa on behalf of Ron DeSantis also raised another issue, a political climate that is getting downright dangerous. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohen, and welcome to ABC7 at 7. Tonight, for the full hour, President Trump in Tampa. The president has come to the area to pick sides in his own party's primary for governor. Adam Putnam has been running for governor for years. He has built a huge war chest. His mistake? He was a little bit late to the Trump train. Not Ron DeSantis, the little-known congressman from the other side of the state, had a plan. He appeared on Fox News Channel over 40 times defending President Trump. Trump was watching, and now Trump is supporting him, helping to erase Putnam's 30-point lead in the polls. Tonight, at the Florida State Fairgrounds, two huge crowds, fans of the president and a whole lot of protesters. We have ABC7's Adam Cellini in the side, the Florida State Fairgrounds, ABC7's Jess Dowdrick, who is outside with people protesting the president. And here in studio, we are joined by Kevin Griffith of the Sarasota Democratic Party and Rod Thompson of the RevolutionaryAct.com. Now let's first go to ABC7's Adam Cellini, who is live inside the Florida State Fairgrounds with a crowd that has been waiting for hours. Adam.
Yeah, Alan, the excitement has been building for hours in here. People still finding their seats. It looks like they'll have no trouble filling the expo hall here at the Florida State Fairgrounds. A quick online search says for concerts, that's around 11,000 people. We don't know how many they're expecting or how many they're hoping to fill today, but it's been an ups and downs of chants, cheering. We've heard from several speakers in anticipation of the president, including Sarasota's own Joe Gruters taking the podium. riling this crowd up with a few chants, including Build the Wall, something we remember from him back in 2016 as Trump's Florida campaign manager. Also hearing from Casey DeSantis, Ron DeSantis' wife, introducing her husband and gubernatorial candidate Ron DeSantis to this crowd. We spoke with some people before this rally began about how much they knew about Ron DeSantis. Just a few people, not much, but they're excited to hear more now that President Trump is backing him up. We believe Trump is close. We have heard he left the Tampa Bay Technical High School, where he spent the early part any minute now, and once he arrives, you'll be sure that we'll be here live bringing you that coverage throughout the evening. For now, live at the Florida State Fairgrounds, I'm Adam Cellini. Alan, back to you.
Adam, thank you. Now let's go outside to ABC7's Jess Dowdrick, who is with the crowd of protesters. Jess.
Alan, we're right in the middle of all of it right now. Breaking up the Trump supporters and the protesters. They've been standing between them because there are a lot of people, as you can see, getting humanity, fighting with one another. So the police officers are breaking all of this up. Fights today. I haven't seen anything physical, just a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming, and again, a lot of police presence to break everything up here outside. There's still a line of Trump supporters waiting to get in over by the arena. It wraps around the entire parking lot. You can't even see the end of the line right now. And again, as you saw, as you can hear, as you see, it's getting very rowdy here. The Trump protesters coming up to the Trump supporters coming up to the protester area here, and they're just going back and forth at one another, and the police breaking it up. So that's all for now outside live here at the Florida State Fairgrounds. For now, we'll check in again with you guys at 7:30.
Well, happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. We had a little cloudiness around today, but temperatures still warm to the low 70s. Different story. They were battling cold all day today, and wind chills are still extreme. 7 degrees it feels like in Boston, 1 in Ottawa, Montreal -1. Even in Pittsburgh, it only feels like 15 degrees there. 11 in New York. That cold air expected to move off to the east tomorrow, but 66 degrees now in Sarasota, quite a contrast on, and temperature 68 in Orlando. Temperatures all in the mid to upper 60s across the region. We're expecting lows to drop down about 7 to 8 degrees from where they are right now. The Gulf water temperature at 73. That continues to plummet right now, and that's an important factor when it comes to late season hurricanes. Lows tonight, Northport 58, 61 in Venice. Osprey, you'll be at 59. Lakewood Ranch, the same, 60 in Sarasota and 58 in Mayaca City. Temperatures in the mid-50s, inland locations in Sebring, Highlands County, and Wauchula, as well as Arcadia. Well, we had some rain around, a few light rain showers associated with the very active subtropical jet stream overhead, and just enough moisture to create these sprinkles, if you will, along the northern portion of the state and along the east coast, but not much for us. And I'm not expecting anything tonight. If we see anything at all, it would be unnoticeable, really, just a light sprinkle here and there, but bigger storms along the east coast. You can see this low-level flow is working its way west, where the high flow is working its way east, and so they're kind of negating one another and causing some bigger storms offshore. Well, the forecast model, this is the Rapid Precision Model forecast, which comes out every 3 hours, is showing pretty nice weather across our area tomorrow. We'll see a mixture of sun and clouds, maybe a few storms along the east coast from Jacksonville southward to Cape Canaveral. Then here comes the low pressure area. Now, the Hurricane Center is monitoring this. This has a chance of developing, not so much here, but in the Gulf Stream along the Atlantic Ocean. As it moves from the Gulf, it's going to actually drift off to the east-northeast, and there's a chance it could be a subtropical storm, not a true tropical storm, but even if it were to do so, it'd get a name. The next name up is Patty right now, and will bring us some showers and maybe some moderate rainfall at times. That rain chance not all that high, though, but I think we'll still see some rain scattered about on Saturday afternoon, late and into the evening. Well, not tomorrow, as this dry air that you see here in the base of the trough of the jet stream scoots on by and kind of dries us out and clears us out. You know, these high to mid-level clouds we've had all day today should not be around tomorrow, as that will be in place and thin everything out. Now, water temperature is always crucial in determining whether a storm can develop. And right now, where it's going to be moving over, very marginal temperatures, in fact, below it, water temperature has to be 80 degrees or above. And you see that here, east of the state in the Atlantic Ocean near the Gulf Stream. If it gets out there and has a chance to develop, it certainly may. It'll push off toward Bermuda, though, so not a problem here. 66 degrees right now, and the humidity pretty low at 59%. The dew point at 51, so not anticipating any fog concerns tomorrow morning, it doesn't look like. The high today was 73. That's well below the average of 78. We'll be near this number tomorrow, 78 degrees. 58 was right at the low temperature for the day. Temperatures in the teens over the Northeast. We showed you the wind chills. These are the actual temperatures now. 15 in Buffalo, Detroit at 27. Warmer out west. 52 in Rapid City. Denver now at 56, and Dallas at 60 degrees. And highs tomorrow will warm up a little bit into the low 30s in Boston, New York, and Toronto will be in the mid 30s there. For boaters tomorrow, northeast winds at 10 knots. Seas will be running right around 2 feet, so not bad out there on the waters. The 7-day forecast shapes up to be pretty good tomorrow. High 79, chance for rain on Saturday I mentioned. Temperatures cooling down early next week as a cold front makes its way through. Al will be back right after this.
This holiday season, show a little imagination. For her, how about a visit to the spa or an evening at a fine restaurant? For him, it could be a round of golf on a world-class course or gear from the pro shop. You'll find these gifts and more at rtjgolf.com/gift cards. RTJ gift cards and resort cards are easy to wrap and never go out of style. Whether it's a good drive, a great steak, or relaxation at the spa, find it at rtjgolf.com/gift cards.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
I'm Deshauna Barber. In 2016, I was proud to win the title of Miss USA. What makes me just as proud is my service in the U.S. military. In the service, a soldier gains skills and learns values like discipline and leadership. That makes them an asset to any business that hires them. If you're an employer, on behalf of Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, remember to hire smart and bet on a vet. Visit saluteheroes.org or call this number to learn more.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
The world is a beautiful place again.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Welcome back. You are watching live coverage of the president's trip to Tampa, and joining us in studio is Rod Thompson of the RevolutionaryAct.com and Kevin Griffith, vice chair of the Sarasota Democratic Party. The president was just talking about the U.S. Senate race between Governor Rick Scott and Bill Nelson. And it's very interesting, Kevin. Look, the governor has jumped out to a lead over Bill Nelson, 47-44%, a shift of 4 points since the last poll in February. this is a very tight race, and the president is pushing, the governor along.
Rick Scott has spent $20 or $25 million. I think something that was important that the president just said there was talking about the ACA, the Affordable Health Care Act. You know, his administration right now is pushing to eliminate the pre-existing condition option. They chose not to defend that because the state of Texas is suing the federal government, and they've chosen not to defend that. That means the people of Florida, fought so hard to get that pre-existing condition coverage, and this president's trying to get rid of it.
But what the president said there was very interesting in terms of you really only see Bill Nelson 5 months before an election. That kind of goes with the TV commercials that you have seen about Bill Nelson being in power or in office or in Washington for 40-something years, at a time when people are tired about what's happening in Washington.
Well, marketing, I guess, is they have some marketing plan that they're trying to push out, but let's be real. Bill Nelson's been around for a long time. He's been fighting for Floridians for a long time. He won the county of Sarasota in 2012, something that most Democrats haven't done, and something he's going to do again this year.
Quick comment, Rob, but then I have a question.
Yeah, Bill Nelson is the ultimate empty suit. I mean, I've been in Florida for 26 years. I have no idea what he's ever done for the state. And Trump is right. He shows up and he campaigns in the last few months. But the point is that most of the time, even Democrats cannot tell you what Nelson has done. He's just a vote for the D, and that's about it.
And those were just some of the moments and conversations that made the Trapezoid the Trapezoid. I'm Alan Cohen. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and may this holiday season be one where we all engage in lively debate and good-natured rapport, just like we do every night at the Trapezoid.